Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Lachey Miller, right? And I'm back with another video. And today we're going to talk about self-representation and how important it is in the society in which we live and how the value of it has gone to a very minimum these days, and the importance of it as well. Early on I got to learn about a lot of things because, I grew up really fast as a young woman, and I was in alternative school, and alternative schools is like alternative education schools where, kids that, that get in trouble like go. So yeah, I was in that school, and I really learned a lot in that school compared to public school. I feel like, because in those kind of schools, teachers actually have the time to, take time to teach you. They have a certain amount of students. It's a lot more kids going to those schools now, but they have more time to actually, teach the kids one-on-one and, get a better understanding of things. So, I learned a lot about, how you're supposed to look when you representation on jobs, or, how you make eye contact on an interview, and just a lot of stuff that I learned early on in my life. If you take the initiative to do things, without having people to ask you to do it, take the initiative without people having to ask you. I learned so much from being in alternative school, and just in my troubled youth days. I've learned a lot, and it has helped me as a young woman be the wise woman I am today, that I make wise decisions. Now, I'm not a fool when it comes to making mistakes. I do make mistakes. I am not perfect, but I'm not a fool when it comes to mistakes. I don't mind making mistakes. I don't mind being wrong, but yeah, it's some levels to that. No, I don't stamp my growth by making wise decisions. I just make sure that I make decisions that is good for my well-being. So the representation of self is important in how people see you. Now, what people think about you, their opinions about you, that's different, because that's what they have. That's like an inner reflection of how they feel about either how they hate themselves or they love themselves. So that really depends on the person. Their opinion of you really depends on the reflection of themselves. Now, as far as how people see you based on how you represent yourself in a representational manner, is basically how you present yourself as an individual, the way you wear clothes, the way you dress, how you look, how you speak, and the way you, carry yourself. So the way you carry yourself in life is really important, and it goes a really long way, because if people look at you and see that you don't take care of yourself, they will know that you probably don't take very good care of your responsibilities. I know when I see people who have a hard time making decisions, I believe those people have a real hard time making choices in real life. People who are very indecisive usually have a very hard time making decisions, and that's not a good thing. It's cool to struggle with problems sometimes, and but it's good to find solutions. And if you're like a very indecisive person because you got like 2 choices on your plate, come on, man. It's people with 5 and 6 and maybe 20 choices on their plate. They have a hard time too, but they make a decision. People who are very indecisive have a real struggle in life. Now, the representation in this world these days is it's very deceptionist. It's very deceptioning. And, people will say, well, I'm this and that, and they will present themselves in a way that does not represent what it is that they speak of. And you are a contradictory of what you say. So if you say that you are this, and then when you go on your Instagram or your Facebook or your TikTok, and you are a reflection of the opposite in what you say, but yet you keep presenting one thing, then showing another, then you are the total opposite of what you say you want, but also what you say that you're for. So Never live in the contradictory of self. If you are about something, be about it and be the reflection. Also show forth it in the effort. Now, people believe that if pretend, fake it till you make it. I don't believe that you should fake it. Like, what's the purpose of testimonies? What's the purpose of speaking your truth? What's the purpose of saying, I went through the hardest time of my life to get successful? What is the purpose of pretending if you're going to have to tell your hardships anyway? So why are you pretending? Why are you trying to fake hold it together? Fake put up pictures on Instagram, fake put up pictures on Facebook, fake put up a front, to make people believe that you are in a better position than you really are. And I get it, from a standpoint that you don't want people to look down on you, but you look down on you, and you don't respect yourself enough to know that even though you endure hardships, that you can get to a greater point in your life. All hardships are a story built making for success. So without the hardships of their testimony, you can never get to a peak point in your life. So without those troubled times in your life, you would never get to where you desire. Those things that you experienced early on in your childhood, the early on days and your teen days, wouldn't make you the person that you are today. You wouldn't be who you were today if you didn't experience all the things that you experienced when you were younger. And those are your early on testimonies. Those are your early testimonies of the result of who you are today. But the reflection of what you are today is basically based on the decisions and who you choose to be, and based on all the stuff you experienced already. You have to decide whether you're going to be somebody who is the reflection of what you speak, act, and say, or you're going to be somebody who is someone who says and say they believe, but you just like the opposite of everything that you speak of. And I believe that, a lot of people are very disrespectful to self. Now, to know oneself is to be in love with oneself. You got to love and be in tune with you to know who you are. So, self-representation is, I see a lot of this, and I'm not being closed-minded, but I feel that a lot of people post themselves in a manner of, like, want to be seen. Just want to be seen. I get it. You want the clout, you want the money, and you just want to be seen. You just post random, content, random pictures of you naked, or you doing something, whether it's nude or anything. People just post things for clout. People post things to get attention. People post things to pretend. People post things in unrealisticness. So are you living in reality, or are you living in a delusional lifestyle? Because the difference between people who are realistic in what they live for are people who accept the fact that they go through hardships and don't need to pretend. It's no fake it till you make it. It's go through the hardships, face them head on, and never forget what made you who you are. Yes, hardship build character. Hardships build character. And without those hardships, you wouldn't be who you are today. So why hide what you go through if you're going to eventually have to tell your testimony anyway? I don't really understand the human nature of society in itself. People are so fake. Like, it's so fake. And I get it. We live in a 3-dimensional world where everybody is an illusional of self-deception and deceiving. Everybody's deceiving themselves into believing that they are this way and want to be this way, and basically never being oneself truly, because everybody's falling in all these trends and all these new social media things and want to keep up with the times. I get it. Stick with the era and know what's going on. And be informed of information and what's going on, but you don't have to become like the world. You don't have to be like the world, baby. You can be so different from the world. You don't have to post half naked to get likes. You don't have to, I get it if you're like somebody in fitness or you work out, that's different. Or maybe you're like into body art, do it with purpose. But if you just posting naked, just to be naked for attention, it's levels to that kind of stuff. And then I feel like people are very disrespectful to themselves And when you're like disrespectful to yourself, that's a total misrepresentation of yourself. So this person doesn't respect themselves enough to, show them their real self, your raw self, your sincere self, the hardships, the struggles. Speak about the real you and stop showing all that fake you. What is it that you desire? What is your purpose? Why do you live, and what do you live for? Why do people waste time feeding into things that aren't necessarily good for them? And it has come to a point where I believe social media is just a trap. It's almost like it is the Matrix. It's the social media matrix. People are stuck in the matrix of self-destruction, and people are destroying themselves, losing their self-love, losing their self-value, losing their self-image, losing their self in all the mess, trying to get clout, money, and whatever it is that they desire, trying to get themselves out there. But you should never lose yourself in a way of trying to help people. If what you have is real, sincere, and authentic, why would you have to pretend to be something that you're not? I don't really get it. I want to get it. I do get it. I get it. But it's not me. It's not who I am. It's not what I stand for. It's not what I believe. And naturally, this is probably why I disagree with everybody. A lot of people. I disagree with a lot of things that I see on social media, and yet I just don't understand why people would want to become what they are not. I get it. You like these dance. My aunts and aunties was laughing at something earlier, and I was just like, that is not funny. Maybe because I, got to a point of spirituality where I'm just like, some stuff just is not, some stuff is just not funny. And some things is just not, interesting. And you lose interest in things that people find interesting. And I'm just like, some of that stuff is just boring. And the things people are talking about are not interesting. And these trends are just whack. And we need to talk about stuff that makes us better. And people are so lost in life and wonder why people are, in a place where they are, because no one takes the time to really give out valuable content or things that, help and feed the world. I get it. It takes time for people to accept information. And it if it was more valuable, positive information, then we can talk about something. But since there's more negativity on, social media platforms, and that's what they spread, and that's what they really make money off of, because people make more money off of negativity than they do positivity. And this is why it's hard for YouTubers who are sharing positivity to get views and get their valuable content out. It's hard to share things that have meaning behind it because people won't value it the way you do. But if you value yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, and very honest and true and transparent about the things in which you speak of, then personally it doesn't really matter what people believe and what they think, because you believe and think and know something different, and you stand in your truth and you believe that truth to be truth no matter what anybody says. Now, if you're someone who is very empowering and very open-minded to knowing that when you are wrong, even when someone else is speaking and they're speaking on something, you have to come to the acknowledgement of knowing, hey, well, I'm wrong, and accept the fact and fix what you're wrong about. So it's not being prideful in knowledge, but being able to accept when one's wrong. So I feel like, people need to represent themselves a lot better on social media platforms and give themselves more love and respect. I feel like people done lost themselves in the age of technology. I mean, I get it's the age of Aquarius, but you don't have to lose yourself in technology, information, and all this hype music. It's whack. It's really whack, and I hate to be biased, but it's just I don't care for it. I want more for people, and I want people to want more for themselves, but you can't force things on people. So it's just all about a way of perceiving. And then when you sit back and you're just looking at people and how they're reacting about things, you just like you just don't get it. You just don't get how the importance of your well-being, and how badly it is that you even would take the time to feed into this BS. And it's just the energy that people waste on stuff that is not valuable to their well-being. It's just kind of like, why are you pretending? why are you so fake? Get out my face, you know? Like, why are you wasting my time? Yo, bro, get it, you know, like, why are you wasting your time with this mess? Like, people really trip me out. Like, trip me up, and have you thinking, like, yo, you really gone. Like, you really gone if you think that's all this life has to offer. You really gone if you think that, you know, not having less self-respect for yourself is the reflection of confidence. That's not confidence, bro. That is not confidence at all. That is not self-respect in any kind of way. And I just want to give you guys valuable feedback. I want you guys to know that you gotta be better at, you know, being respectful to yourself and self-representation is important. Self-representation is really important, and you guys should take the time to really think about who you want to be and how you want people to see you, how you want your children to see you. Like, how do you want your children to see you? Is that not important? Like, I get it, like, opinions and stuff will contradict who you are, but at the end of the day, you got to value who you are as a person. And if you don't, then you're a lost soul. Like, at the end of the day, you're lost. And if you think sticking with the times and the trends is going to make up for the lack of self-love and self-worth, then you're a lie. You're lying to yourself. You're deceiving yourself. No one can save you. No one can save you from the self-destruction that you put yourself through. No one can save you from the self-denial. No one can save you from the self-doubt. No one can save you from it but you. You have to choose to love yourself. You have to choose to, you know, choose a better life. You have to choose your dreams. You have to learn how to choose yourself too. So when you learn how to love yourself, decide.